Sprint Review 29, the strIDe squad. The agenda, we will discuss HR, the progress of applications behind OneLogin, and quite a lot of other improvements that we fixed this sprint. First of all, long-term metrics. It went up a bit. You can see it especially on the right side, right lower side. Some additional applications been in the inventory added, and also some applications. The Q4 metrics specifically, the HR interfaces are getting further, but the amount of time is very limited now. So still, I think we're still good to go, but it's will be getting a bit tight at the end probably. On the high values, we also added CAN letters for finance. So I think that was also a good one to add in the list, because that was quite a huge amount of people implemented. I think it was 1,700, something like that. So 1,700 people additionally in the environment. We did some work on the AWS migration for a security service. So the spike is being done, and all the additional steps are being defined. So that's I think that's a good step. And the last one on increase of speed for connecting applications. This is the normal speed, I would say, but we will see the extra additional ones in the next sprint, because we will do the Jenkins afterwards.
So it's just a question. So it's per quarter we're gonna measure.
This is per quarter, and I would like to see an increase on this quarter, because we're doing a number of So if we're having at least more
an increase
in more than the last time, because the last time we already did quite a lot of applications implemented.
Okay.
So it would be very good to have that aligned a bit more. Overall status on HR, so more in detail. I think the ones that need to be mentioned here is the Luco one, because we will have for the next sprint, we will have the developer additional in the team. And the rest, it's just small steps. For the restaurant, we have the alignment with the vendor now, so I think that's a good thing. And this week we will do additional drill down on the actual change. So I think we're still good to go, but it's slowly in progress. So we need to have some finalization of some of those. Need to figure out the best way to do that. But it's not all in our hands, so that's the most important thing to know. Okay, on HR more in detail on the steps that we performed. We would like to have additional functionality in the EC adapter, but it's not completely 100% finalized, so it's still pending. Let's put it on that manner. Based on the last sprint, we did some rework on the Employee Central interface at that point already. That has been done. For ASOSoft, the agreement is being made with the vendor on the new scale of usage. So some additional vendors that need to have the new information, the mutations, and also discussed on how the mutations will come from dots. They will come from dots. So basically, we already sent 3 test files to ASOSoft to validate if they can work with those files. And if that's fine, then we can just move on and continue connecting other vendors behind Asussoft. It's just the additional ones are only because we're switching from 3 to 1 environment. And the next steps for design for Resto are being set. The move. Raidu is still in progress. This week we heard that this week they will do the implementation. And on DOTS we still have the X-frames issue, and we're waiting to have this being discussed with OneLogin. The ones that are being done is CAN letters for finance, so it's basically behind OneLogin. And the additional one is the Jenkins for our own squad, and it was see it as a test case for our own implementation that we want to have all the other teams connected based on OpenIDC instead of the SAML connector that we had. Other improvements. Validated pending medium risks in the RAS. That has been finalized. The last ones that we could implement are also implemented. So that was a good thing. For Service Desk, Service Desk and Digitonomas asked us to work on a reactivating script. Later, some more information on that via a demo. Decommissioning root.local. It's stopped. It was already stopped, and now also the additional actions are being executed. It's not completely gone, but that's because there are some changes pending at our other teams. I think the Ethereal and the data center both have the decommission requests, as far as I recall. So for us, from our perspective, everything has been done. And we had some long bugs for a long time on our backlog, and those were eliminated also. But there's something more. We also worked on LDS phase out. We didn't finalize it completely, but almost. Let's put it in that manner. Changed the script that we created earlier for the correspondence, and changed the security service. Now it's only authenticating against Active Directory and no longer against LDS. So basically we will stop the LDS. I think it will be the next sprint, and then it's completely phased out. And we did the brainstorming with the Spike for how to migrate the security service. Okay, demo. Share. Nou, dan kunnen wij wel eens alleen nemen.
Maybe the functional explanation a little bit, because I missed that from the why this story is created, because
maybe some maybe you can elaborate.
Yeah, because now it was too cumbersome to reactivate a user, because sometimes there were 3 teams involved. So normally Service Desk had to do something, then the ticket was sent to Digital Nomads, they had to do something else, and sometimes they had to go back to Service Desk to be sure that they had done the first thing, because that was not very clear sometimes. And then Digital Nomads had to do something, and then they had to go back to Service Desk, and they had to do final steps. That was too cumbersome, because sometimes a user needed to to be reactivated real quick, and it could sometimes take hours before he was reactivated. So we have now Team strIDe and Digital Nomads has created a script. We on our hand to do the reactivation of everything within Active Directory. And Digital Nomads had a script to do reactivate everything concerning Gmail and other things. So now services can do it all by themselves by using some script. So I will demo the script that we have made for reactivating a user in Active Directory. So here you have a user, a disabled user test reactivate. So the user already disabled by EDM. Services normally doesn't have any permissions in this OU to reactivate the user and so on. Now they can use this script, which has to be found on a network share. We have embedded it in an executable, so they can't tamper with it. It's a PowerShell script. So this is the script. This is the GUI, which displays a warning that they have first to do the cancel user termination in the IDM tool. That's because not only the user has to be re-enabled, but also a flag has to be reset in the SQL database from this IDM tool. If this is not done, the user will be terminated again the next day. So it's very important that they do this first. The user that you want to reactivate, you have to know the SAM account name. You click on search. If the user does not exist in the disabled OU or is not disabled, it will send you an error message saying that the user is not in the correct OU and you can do nothing. So the user has to be there. If the user is found, it will show some user data just to be sure that it's the correct user that we are talking about. A new password is generated. And if we click reactivate, after a short while, if everything is successful done, you get this message. What has happened is that the user is enabled, is moved to the correct OU depending on his preferred language settings. He has got the new password that has been generated. This password is also copied to the clipboard, so they can easily do Ctrl-V to put it in secret server or something. And there are some description fields and so on.
So it's copied to the clipboard when you call reactivate.
Yeah.
Maybe it's easier that maybe there's a message it's copied inside of the clipboard that it's already that's intuitive. Just a short message, then we don't have to put it in the documentation.
No. We're going to look for the user. We look for this user. Now we see it's in the Berlinske OU because it was a Danish user. You can also see in the description when it was reactivated. Also the user must change password at next logon is set. Account expiration is set to never. And department is cleared because the IDM tool will fill this in with a dienst. So this is cleared also. So this is everything can be done by the service now. So this is a more efficient way to reactivate the user.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Well, maybe it's good to if we can either add that last comment or with the next implementation that we will need to do.
No.
Okay. What is for the next sprint? Getting more progress on the HR changes. One of the elements why we are we'll have some more progresses because we will have Gary from the next sprint. Gary is developer and especially on the Lukoil one, doing some additional stuff. And we have quite a lot of invites already for a few other interfaces. The improvements that we needed to do on the EC adapter, it's finalizing the one, and also we had some improvements on logging, etc. So that's also there. And Jenkins was the first one that we want to do with multiple squads, having the session. I think it is this week. Next week. Okay, next week. So next week we'll have the session with multiple teams to connect Jenkins behind OneLogin. For RAS, we still have some changes that were on an older list, pending requests. We will execute that, and that's the last set of changes that we can finalize. And we're already working on an end report that's also going in the right direction. And we have a training set for Service Desk Denmark on OneLogin. The other ones might be, and we have to look at it if we are actually having time to get it done. Probably the decommission can be at least started. Okay. Questions? Nobody is in the room as far as I recall. Then I would say thanks for the attention.